right. That's right. Welcome to the Spitter Swallow Beer Review. Shagdog Drew Miller High Life again, but that's okay. This beer gets an ABV of 65 on Beer Advocate. ABV is 4.6% ABV, and it's American Adjunct Lager. High Life, also known as the Champagne of beers, is quintessentially classic American-style lager. In 1903, Frederick Miller created Miller High Life because he believed in the good life, and the high life should be accessible to everyone, not just the upper crust. To this day, Miller High Life continues to be faithful brewed. My biggest gripe about Miller is, the family sold it. The granddaughter, I think Frederick Miller, sold it to like one of the cigarette companies or something. Winston-Salem, maybe Philip Morris. And then in turn, some other company bought part of it. I think the Miller family still has a 10% holdings of it or something, but it went to South African breweries, and now it's with Coors, Molson Coors, So it's a shame they kept selling it around. Oh well. But let's give that a handy dandy pour. This is a working man's beer. Let me tell you that. Let me just tell you that. It's a working man's beer. Let's see if my volume will go up because I can't hear crap. See if that helps. Maybe not. That's okay. Yeah, heavy pour, big head. But that's okay. I prefer drinking these out of the bottle. I was going to buy a bottle, but I was like, well, let's just buy the cans. They stay fresher longer, right? I figured I'd get out here and do one review. Maybe I'll do a drinking and thinking after this one. If I get through that big Miller High Life head, that very high life head. Typical. Let's give it a look-see. Definitely clear. Some bubbles going up. Kind of a pale golden, but not real dark, but darker than your typical like light beer. Head's still frothy. Still 2-finger head. I'm surprised actually. But damn. Yeah, typical corn in there. Almost like a cooked corn, a little sweetness. A little corn syrup sweetness, I think. I'm ready to drink it. Let's see if I get through that head. Cheers. Wow. Yeah, probably some GMO corn in there. Very sweet. Sweeter than usual. Oh well. I don't know. I bought some chips to go with this that I might do with the drinking and thinking video. And I don't know if those chips will go with this beer actually, but we'll see. Kind of a citrusy yet spicy chip. Not bad. Very clean and refreshing. It just tastes a slightly sweetness more than usual. I'm not getting as much as a cooked corn. I'm getting more of a sweet, maybe corn syrupy taste in there. Now I bought it from the store in the cooler section, but it's not like particularly really cold though. Maybe I should have chilled my glass. I mean, it's cold, but not real cold, Yeah. I just came off a cold the other day. I hope I'm not getting another one. My ear feels blocked up. Oh, what am I going to do today? Oh, I figure I get off work, do a couple after work beers, and go back to work tonight, Now, Carolina Gamecocks, I'm not a fan really. Just when I moved here, I bought this shirt. I was like trying to fit in, you know. I probably need an FSU shirt, but can't find any around here. I probably need to order some online, but I hate ordering stuff online. More of an FSU fan for my home state, Florida State. Pretty much my home state. I wasn't born there, but I lived there. That was the longest place I lived in my life. So you might as well say I'm a Floridian. I lived in upstate New York 15 years, Pennsylvania for about not even 4 years, 3.5 years. While I was in the Army, I was in New Jersey for about 2 years. Overseas in Central America for about 2 years. Texas for a year, and then went back to Pennsylvania for 1 year, and then Florida for 24 years. Now I've been in South Carolina for 4 years. So I'm still a Floridian in my heart. Oh, thanks for wanting to comment. Oh, it's Jammer fan. You're up early. 100th review of this beer. I wouldn't say it's 100. Over the many years we've been doing it, even the deleted ones from the original channel, I'd probably give a good guesstimate of 33 times, but I could be wrong. But the main two beers I go to do drinking and thinking is Miller High Life or Yingling. I promise you, I looked for a different beer today. I was like, I could try something else. And actually, I did find, I was at Walmart shopping, and there's a new beer that Walmart has, City Brewing, Capital Brewing, whatever they're called. They're brewing it for Walmart. And it's called Classic Brewing Light. And they spell it Lite, like Miller Lite. And it was right by the Miller Lite. At first, I thought, what's this, a new Miller Lite thing? And I was like, no, I had to look it up. I was like, what the hell? I didn't buy it, though. I was like, oh. Then I saw somebody said it tastes like Bud Light. So I was like, yeah, I'm not going to drink that. So I'm looking around. I almost bought Founders Day IPA, but I was like, oh, I don't know if I want to drink an IPA. Even though it's a light IPA, it's like 4.7. I was like, I just want a good adjunct lager, a good lager. Man, I should have just stacked up on the Summerfest during the summer. I love those Summerfest beers by Sierra Nevada. I should have just stacked up on those. Good Czech lager or Czech Pilsner. Yeah, but this isn't too bad, though. It tastes a little different than normal. It's like a little cleaner and sweeter. It's kind of weird. Maybe it's just fresh, man. Let's see what the date is on there. I can't read that shit. Yeah, but that was funny, Jammerpan. I like how I bring up your comment. It just replaces our little name thing. If I forget to bring it up there, someone might think my name is Super Duper Trump. I don't know why you put that name on there, Super Duper Trump. Yeah, not too bad, though. I don't think my potato chip that I bought to drink with these on Drinking and Thinking is going to turn out too well, but I'm going to do it anyhow, right? Why not? But what would I give this beer? I mean, Beer Advocate, of course, 65. I'm surprised it's that high, actually. So that's one of the adjunct, although some adjunct lagers are in the 50s, you know, on Beer Advocate. So Miller High Life gets 65, which I think is appropriate. I'd probably give it a C plus, almost a B minus. It's a pretty easy drinking adjunct lager, you know. And that head is retaining. It's amazeballs. I probably shouldn't be drinking I gotta go back to work tonight, but that's okay. I worked hard last night. I deserve this. No Jammer. What is today? Saturday? Yeah, Jammer won't be on today. The only time Jammer will be on a weekend is if his wife takes a trip, which is about once or twice a year. Yep. Good old Miller High Life. I don't know if I want to drink anymore, but I might drink one or two more. I'm going to bring a couple of these up with my special chip on the next video. Yeah, I give this a C plus, almost a B minus, but a C plus and a SWAF. Swallow and a half. I think what I need to do is keep these ear things off. I think they're affecting the way I talk. It's I don't know. Yes, verily. Anything fun to talk about? Let's check. Hey, this week in history, before we leave, I mean, I'm done with the beer, but this week in history, it's a week of history, right? Let's see what we got here. All right. This week in history, of course, JFK was killed, what, today? Is the anniversary? What's that? 70, 80, 90, 2000, what's that, 60, 62 years? Am I counting that right? I might be. Yeah, and then, of course, this week, later on in a few days, the entire world was glued to the TV for Kenny's funeral procession. Huge American history right there, folks. Yeah, of course, Lee Harvey Oswald shot. I don't know if it was in. Let's see when Lee Harvey Oswald was killed. I can't remember it. I know it was a couple days after, right? On what day was Lee Harvey Oswald shot?
November 1963.
November 24th. So 2 days after he supposedly shot the president, he was shot by what's his name? Jack Ruby. Yeah. Anyhow, so another important history thing is like everybody's like, well, this is the guy. Then somebody shoots him, and they're like, wait, what the fuck's going on? Oh, a WTF moment, you know? That had to be crazy. Also this week, 1963. Was it 63? No, 64. About a year later this week, 1964, the first Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer TV special aired. Claymation Magic. The air date, late November, it became a yearly Christmas tradition. Also during this week, 1967, the Beatles released Magical Mystery Tour. Late November saw the album drop in the U.S. full psychedelic, Wild Colors, classic Beatles era. Also this week, in 1969, Sesame Street gaining traction. November 69 was when Sesame Street was just a couple weeks old, becoming an instant hit with the kids. In the 70s, 1971, Dirty Harry trailer drops, hype begins. Late November, the ads were running everywhere. Clint Eastwood's most iconic role started making waves. 1972, Pong is released by Atari this week. People first experienced a video game in bars this week. Yes, the entire video game revolution started with a Pong game in a bar, 2 blips and a square ball. 1975, Queen releases Bohemian Rhapsody. By late November, it hit the American radio instant classic. 1977, Saturday Night Fever soundtrack hits the stores. Bee Gees' Takeover, Disco Domination officially sealed and begins. 1980s, what happened around this week in the 80s? Of course, 1980, John Lennon's final single released before his death, which he died, I think, a month later. In December, right? 1982, Michael Jackson releases Thriller this week. Biggest music album of all time at that time. Music changed music videos forever. 1985 this week, Nintendo Entertainment System takes over the U.S. Around this week, the NES was hitting more stores in America. Kids discovered Mario for the first time. Really, if you're a true video game person, you should have discovered Mario before that with Donkey Kong. But that's okay. 1989, Berlin Wall coming down this week. I remember that. Coverage still dominating the TV that week. Late November, news was still full of people celebrating the fall of the wall. 1990s, 1991, of course, Freddie Mercury passes away. Music world was shocked. Radio everywhere played Queen nonstop. No one knew he had AIDS. Well, probably his closest family members and friends probably did. That's it. I think he announced it a week before he died or something, right? Pretty sure. 1993, Mrs. Doubtfire released in theaters. Robin Williams' comedy classic dropped right around Thanksgiving week. 1994, during the week of Thanksgiving, Sega Saturn launches in Japan. I thought it was a big flop. Beginning the 32-bit console war, gamers everywhere hyped. A lot of people were hyped about the Sega Saturn, but I don't think it did that well, actually. I think the PlayStation came out like right after that, 95, I believe. And in 95, I can't remember when the PlayStation came out, but Sega Saturn was lost at that point. 1997, Titanic marketing hits full swing for the movie. Didn't come out until December, but late November advertising was everywhere. Trailers, posters. 1999, Napster explodes in popularity. Right about the time people were discovering you could download music for free, and the music industry was panicking. So, also in the 90s, I think we had Kmart, just for fun's sakes. Kmart cafes were still serving those hot dogs and ices. Some phones still had cords. Sears and JCPenney's Christmas catalogs were kid heaven still, probably in the 90s. MTV was actually still playing music videos occasionally. Rent movies from Blockbuster on Friday nights. I don't think too many people went to arcades, but they still had arcades in the 90s. Not as big of a hype thing like the 80s, but they're still around. And then, even go back to the 80s. Just this is more nostalgic stuff, not stuff for the end of November, but 80s. I don't think too much 90s, some of these things, but cartoons. You had Looney Tunes, He-Man, Thundercats, DuckTales. They might have been showing DuckTales maybe still in the 90s. Looney Tunes on some channels. Kids using metal lunchboxes with superheroes on them. Or Scooby-Doo. Ooby-Doo, right? McDonald's styrofoam containers everywhere. I don't know what year they stopped using those. What year did McDonald's stop using the styrofoam containers?
McDonald's
1990.
styrofoam containers for sale.
Yeah, I love those things. They pop them open. It's nice, and that nice little sound. And then with your Whopper, or not Whopper, a Big Mac. Drive-in theaters were still hanging around, and believe it or not, there still are some drive-in theaters still around. Where I lived in Florida, there was one about 9 or 10 miles away from me. There you go. Some nostalgia for you, especially for all of our old viewers. I'll probably do it for this one. I just want to give out something for this week, end of November. I'm sure there's some more historical things I probably didn't have, but what do you expect, Anyhow, Spitter Swallow Beer Review, where we do the beer reviewing for you. We'll see you on the next one. Cheers.